Last but not least, we have the article about friend of show Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel wants you to think he's an evil genius. He's just a rich guy, and this in some ways connects to the point of the point of the article that the same point as was made in the current affairs article, right? Which is just like, look, this is I want people to think harder about how they attack the right, because that's like a good 50% of what I do, right? I'm all for attacking the right, but I think there are better and worse ways to do it, and there's a way of lefties writing about the right that I think can slip into actually reinforcing some of these people's branding, right? That like, oh, these are these like really dangerous, edgy, evil geniuses. It's like, no, they're not, right? I mean, like there's like they're just Republicans, and which is not like, look, when I say just Republicans, um, or people will be offended if I like compare Peter Thiel to like Charles Koch, right? And don't get me wrong, they're not the same. They're not actually, right? Like Charles Koch actually has non-evil positions on a handful of issues, which is better than you could say about Thiel, as far as I can tell. He's as ideologically incoherent as he is. Not get into some of the contradictions of the article. He is at least consistent in finding the most evil, position on every possible issue, right? That like it's like, oh, he's a libertarian, but also he like he spent the war on terror trying to get Palantir contracts for the government and saying that the Bush administration was being too squeamish about privacy rights, right? So like he'll always gravitate towards the most evil positions, right? And the effect, so he is worse, right? But I think there is a continuum there, and I think all of these people, right, like all of your non-Pritzker politically active billionaires, have you know basically what they do is about trying to make economic inequality even worse than it already is, trying to roll back environmental regulations so that the planet is destroyed even more quickly than it would be otherwise, and generally trying to make the world worse and less livable. Right? I mean, like it's literally the most dangerous thing in the world. Um, but I think that this idea that he's like this comic book supervillain promoting a coherent master plan, right, which is honestly kind of how Teal likes to present himself, right, is not really accurate. I think he's just kind of a not very bright rich guy who enjoys triggering the libs and also genuinely has these like super despicable policy preferences.
Yeah, as somebody who reads comics, I gotta say, like, his plans are not evil genius plans. They're just flailing blindly at ways to make money.
Yeah, exactly. You have been watching free public content from Give Them an Argument. To access every single episode of the show, the main show on Monday nights, all of the streams, all of the debate breakdowns, all of the patron exclusive post games on Monday nights, all of the patron exclusive bonus episodes every week, and much, much more, go to patreon.com/Ben Burgis. I cannot resist ending this with, don't be foolish.